Let's get right into the interview. We have Raymond standing by. What is up, Raymond?
Yeah, it's going good. What's up, Alfonso? How you guys doing?
Good. I got one real quick question before Alfonso jumps in. What is your background? Because I know you have a rich background.
Right. Yeah, so my background is I've been in the game industry for about 22 years now. Started as a graphics engineer, worked on a bunch of different games like NBA 2K, NBA Street, Godfather game, BioShock 2, and Splinter Cell Blacklist, right? So spent a lot of time making a lot of games, and now I'm at Unity, working with external partners who use our engine and helping them make their games better and how to use our technology better. And I'm also I'm on the board at Gameheads and as an advisor, and I do a lot of the Unity instruction for a lot of the students.
That's really inspiring.
Yeah. I mean, Raymond's continually, a great mentor to the students. He's a industry professional. He's dedicated to this program. Has done tremendous work for the students, and I can't say enough about how hard he works and how much he gives back to the program. Let's jump into it a little bit. What is like the most rewarding part of you, or why are you part of this program?
Right. So for the longest time, I was just heads down working, right? Just doing my work. And then I looked around and realized it's like, I'm still the only black face here. I'm still one of the only black people at the company. I'm still one of the few black folks I know in the industry, right? So it's like, how can I change that? How can I give back? How can I share my knowledge? And then I was talking with Marcus and Lizette, and I was like, hey, how can I hear you guys are involved with something. How can I help? And so I became a mentor at Gameheads as a way of giving back and helping grow the next generation of talent, right, in the industry, and get kids interested in video games. How I got interested, I got my first computer and I just started working on it, and that's how I got in the industry. And so I just want to make sure that there's opportunity for kids that are out there to at least see, is the game industry something that they want to do or not. And then I had the opportunity to do the mentorship at Gameheads, and that really is what got me involved and got me going with this.
And what do you think are some of the greatest challenges you encountered throughout your career, to being the sole black face in some of these organizations? It's really hard. I mean, I find that when I'm in the tech industry, it's just they feeling alone in those roles.
Yeah, but I don't know if I really even thought of it as a disadvantage. I was just kind of let's just do it, heads down, just keep going. Mm-hmm. Just even to start, when I went to school for computer science, I was one of 3 black folks in the class, right? So it's always been like this, right? So it's just a matter of, I'm not going to let that stop me from my goals, but I damn sure want to make sure that the next generation have it easier and have it better. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna jump in. What's the most rewarding thing for jumping into Gameheads, and teaching the students?
Yeah, for me, it's hard to teach kids how to make video games. It's hard to make video games.
Yeah.
And it's also hard. It's also hard to have the patience to teach a group of young people how to make video games, right? But when I see the end result, when I see the games that they've made over the years, and how impactful some of them are, how well polished some of them are, how fun to play some of those games are, that is what makes it worth everything. Seeing their reaction, seeing the public's reaction to the games, seeing people totally impressed, that makes me super happy, because when I was that age, I didn't have any of that or any of those kind of opportunities.
Yeah, I felt the same way. As I'm a indie game developer, and not having those opportunities, just having to dive in and just testing things out and learning how to code and all that, but no real mentorship that could have fast tracked me and show me. I mean, we're all gonna bump our heads, right? But if you could bump your heads a few less times, that would be very, very impactful.
Absolutely.
Right. And if there's also also if there's mentors there to help you,
Yeah.
and tell you the facts, tell you what really to expect, that also helps a lot, right?
Yeah. And you said your role in Unity is you guys are you're specifically your role right now is helping companies use the Unity engine to improve their games.
Right. Yeah. So it's about improving their games, but it's also about helping and improving our engine as well through what we learn by working with these partners. And so that really helps make sure that the next set of games that are going to be made on Unity are in a better position because we've learned some things and we've done some improvements along the way.
So what do you think separates a good game from like a great game?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think the main difference, the things that I really care about, I think a game has to be very deep in terms of it allows everybody in. It's very accessible. But then when you want to go deeper and when you want to become more skilled, there's another layer to it.
Nice.
And then you grow with the game and you get more experience at it. Like games like Fortnite and Apex Legends have like those qualities, right? Where it's very easy to get into, you can have fun playing it, but then you could really get real hardcore about it and go to another level, right? And to me, that's most of the best games have those qualities, right?
For sure. And how do you ease the students, at Gameheads into that? Because obviously they're not going to off the top hit a a 3-base hit home run type scenario, right? Like they have to kind of get eased into it. How do you do that with the students?
Well, for me, I don't like my goal at Gameheads and for the games the students make isn't to make good games.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the goal, right? The goal is for them to learn the process of making video games, and it's for them to understand. And part of that too, on the engineering side, is for them to become better engineers. Learn coding, learn about some of the more in-depth topics. That's really the goal. And if they make a good video game in that process, more the better, right? But we're preparing them for when they really want to go into the industry or go to post-secondary education, that they will be in a better position once they're there, right? And then they could think about how to make a good game once they know what they're doing, right?
One of the things I love about Raymond, and I say this all the time when we're in person, when we get back to being in person, is that Raymond is not easy on the students. Like there's no coddling. There's like you gotta do the work. He's like you gotta show up. Yeah. You gotta like really like invest in yourself. And I think that's the thing you have to do with our folks is like, look, you're not gonna no one's gonna like handhold you through a role if you get one of these jobs at AAA companies. Like, Raymond's not gonna be there like, oh, it's okay, buddy, you can just not do good. Like, no.
I think that's extremely important because there's, sometimes in these other programs there's a lot of hand holding and you can't do that. It's like, oh yeah, I'm black, so I can, they're gonna hand me this stuff, affirmative action. It's like, no, we gotta work twice as hard as anyone else, and we need mentors to help us, and they can't necessarily always be easy on us. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. They ask me all the time. They're like, Ray, how did you get so good at programming, or how did you get to where you are? And the answer is really easy. It's like, yo, you gotta practice and try hard. Like, you know what I mean, right? You just have to keep practicing the craft and keep going. And you get better over time with more practice, right? Like you see me do this real fast now, but I've been doing this for like 30 years. Like, of course I'm really doing this really fast, right? You have to build up that skill and that knowledge, you know what I mean, right?
That's totally true.
Super impressed with that. And what do you think are the specific barriers for folks of color in this industry, especially in this industry?
Honestly, I think when I was coming up, I think a lot of the barriers, a lot of the like technical and practical barriers are really not there these days. When I was coming up, when you wanted to make a video game, you had to build the entire video game yourself, right? You had to write the renderer, you had to write the control systems, physics, you had to do all that yourself. That's a lot of things to know and a lot of knowledge you have to find somewhere. These days with engines like Unreal and Unity and Godot, and like there's a ton of engines out there that really lower the barrier to entry. But for Black folks, there's still like there's still like wealth gap disparities, and so that might limit opportunity to get access to a computer that can run these engines and things like that. And then there's the knowledge, like the video game industry is also very insular, very small.
Yeah.
And so then how do you get that information and the knowledge out so that folks even know if it's awareness and how to make video games, right? I think those are the barriers that we're facing like today.
Yeah, and that's what some of the things that the Gameheads program is solving. Like one of my roles with the program is to make sure the students have computers that can actually run the Unity engine, and they have access to that stuff. So and then access to mentors like Raymond. It's just ultimately very important to have those tools.
Yeah. I mean, we super appreciate you jumping on and everything you do for Gameheads. Gameheads is such an amazing, program, and I think we need this to be. I know it's worldwide. We talked to Lizette yesterday. Actually, she was talking about Gameheads and Psychonauts 2, and we talked to Marcus last time. Every time we should have these discussions. It's extremely important.
Yep. Yeah. And it's been like it's been hard. And it's been fun, like, to do this and work with Alfonso and Damon and Marcus and Lizette and Paul and everybody. It's been a fun ride, and we're seeing great success and a lot of progress, and nothing makes me happier than doing this.
For sure. Well, thank you so much, Raymond, for joining us. That's Raymond Graham. Where can we find you, actually?
Oh man, I'm on. The best place to follow me is on Twitter, and it's Wadaras on Twitter. WADARASS, Wadaras on Twitter. Yeah.
Nice.
And if you're Jamaican, you know what that means. But yeah, that's what's up.
He's also on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay, we'll check you on LinkedIn, brother. And
professionally, I'm on LinkedIn.
Oh,
Professionally, I'm on LinkedIn as Ray Graham. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ray Graham. Cool. Well, shout out to Gameheads. If you want to find out more about Gameheads, how can we do that?
You can definitely go to gameheadsoakland.org and donate.
Yeah.
You can check out the board and be a mentor to the program if you're in the industry as well.
Cool.
Yeah, you could just if you're interested in being a mentor, just drop me a DM and I could direct you to the right people.
Cool. Thank you so much, Raymond.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care, y'all.